Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Thursday's Diane Dash, or quick short trip around some marketing hints and tips for your Toastmaster clubs. This week, John and I are delighted to be joined by Eric Story, a member of Gatwick Communicators, who makes and produces videos for small independent companies and freelancers, and he's going to be sharing a few hints and tips a bit later on about making the video. And the purpose of today's meeting is we're going to pre-announce something to do with making videos for clubs that we're going to be launching formally next week. But we want your questions now, because John, Eric, and I won't have thought of all of the questions. But it's a really exciting initiative. It's something that can involve all the members across the district. It's hopefully going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be rewarding because we're asking Toastmasters to talk about themselves. And who doesn't like talking about themselves? It's often one of the things that we most enjoy. So very briefly, what we're going to be asking you to do next week is make a series of videos that are 45 seconds long, and only 45 seconds long, because we know that that way we will get a higher engagement than if we make videos that are even 2 or 3 minutes long. And what the aim is, we're going to ask people to tell us one of 16 questions we have at the moment. And the questions are fairly obvious questions, like why I joined Toastmasters, what I've learned at Toastmasters, how I learned improv speaking at Toastmasters, how it helped with a job interview. And each person can answer 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 questions in separate interviews. So in each video, people are only answering 1 question. And the reason for that is that you send these 45-second videos to us, and then Eric, John, and I are going to be putting together a team who are going to put a header board saying what the question is and who the person is and which club they belong to, and brand it with D91 Toastmasters. And then at the end, we're going to put a call to action, and we want the entire video to be less than a minute, which is why we want everything done in 45 seconds. So it's going to take a little bit of thought, but it's also a great opportunity to be creative. And we don't just want people sitting in front of the desk or with a background like I've got at the moment, an electronic background. We want people to be seen to be engaging and active in the street. Will they be subtitled? I need to check with Eric, and Eric can answer that one a bit later on. But the whole idea is that we convey the excitement and the enjoyment that we all get from Toastmasters and being members of Toastmasters, and how we've benefited. And then we will be running a YouTube Shorts, TikTok type campaign, depending upon whoever is speaking, throughout the year. The idea is that we want to be able to put out 3 or 4 videos a day, so we get constant awareness and constant raising of profile. And this is why we need everyone to take part. It should be incredibly enthusiastic, the video. People can make, as I said, more than 1 video. And if we get 1,000, then I'm going to ask for another 1,000, because I'm greedy, as Annalise can testify from when we've worked together. So this is a session really where we're also not only going to pre-launch the concept, as we've just said, but Eric is now going to tell us some of the do's and don'ts about making the videos, with some support and help from John. And John can explain also how we're going to link everything together in a campaign towards the end. Eric.
Hello. Yes, will it be possible to share a screen at some stage? Can we do that now? Because there's some things I can.
It's always been enabled.
Yep. So we'll do that. Share. So that will enable me. Can you? You can still see me.
Yes.
Yeah. You can still see if I put things like that up. Just seen that.
Yes, we can see your desk. Yes.
Right. Okay. Just a brief little bit about me. Diane very kindly kind of bigged me up a little bit. I don't do videos full time. I primarily was a photographer. I am a photographer, but I've moved to doing some video because they are very, very useful for marketing. There's lots of statistics to suggest that videos are very, very good marketing tools. And to evidence that, I'll show you the Gatwick Communicators Facebook page. Now, if you look to the Insights page here on the left, we did a Facebook marketing campaign, which cost £10. And this is what we used to market our video for our open house. We reached 2,954 people, which was 5,271% increase. We had 183 engagements. And how many page likes did we have? 15 actually, if you look in this section. Anyway, but the result is that we had, here's a photograph of all of the people that turned up, and we had about 5 people turn up to our open house who we'd not seen before, which in the grand scheme of things, for a club that this is just our second meeting, we were quite pleased with that. And of course, it will only improve. Now, whether that was the video or the, who knows, but the video got quite a lot of attention, and they are a useful marketing tool because people can see who is at the club. And the most important thing is people want to see people like them. So we've got a very diverse club, and so you can have a look at us, and then you can kind of say they look like kind of people that I want to join in with, and the kind of thing that I want to learn, because we record all of our speeches. So that's just a brief bit about me. Now, making a video, I'm certainly not a guru. I think John is probably massively more experienced than me. I've only been doing videos for 5 years. I'm more or less entirely self-taught. Didn't start learning until my 50s. But if I can do it and I spend some time, then it's kind of, you know, there's no reason why, if you put a little bit of effort into it, that you should be able to pick it up. And what I'm going to try to do is show you the simplest way of doing it. Now, camera-wise, now I've got obviously one of these and other cameras, but you don't need one of these. If you've got one, great, because a lot of them take video now. But for this, I used this, which is just it's an iPhone 7. It's probably about 5 or 6 years old now, so it's quite old tech. It's quite a you know, it's nothing special. There's just a clip there which you put on a little tripod, and the way I did it, now you can use selfie sticks, you can use whatever you want, but this is what I used. And the reason I used this was because you can see what you're looking at when you put it on the table. And I just put it on a pile of books and pointed it at me. And this is, if you can see the result, and this is kind of what I did. Now you can do whatever you want. Now, the reason I did this is because the camera's not brilliant. I needed the best light and the best, because I haven't got a microphone, I haven't got one of these. And so I just used the phone's built-in microphone. So you need to be fairly close to, otherwise you'll pick up a lot of echo, ambient noise, all that sort of thing. And this was just our dining room table. The other thing that you've got to think about is light. it sounds obvious, and I apologize if I'm teaching you suck eggs, but it helps if you can sit by an open source of light. Now, if you look at my image, the window is to the image's left, and then there's some more light to the right. So if you can use natural light, then you don't need to use lighting or spotlights or anything like that. So sit by a window. The background's not brilliant, it's a bit cluttered, but it's not the end of the world. But just try to make it natural light that lights the face, and with the microphone as close as you to possible if you're going to use a mobile phone. And the new mobile phones now are amazing, so there'll be a lot better quality than this. Are we okay so far? Yeah, good. Anything anybody want to ask? No, good. So basically, as Diane says, you just need to do a short clip.
I think
this is
probably has, yes.
So this is just me being asked questions by my wife, and then you can just do 45, whatever, however long you want it to do, and clip it, and then you've got a little movie on your phone. Now with this, I just literally sent this to my Hotmail account, and it was on the cloud, and you can download it as a link, and you will end up with a short clip, as Dinah said. I'm sure everybody knows how to do that. Just video yourself and send it via an email. So once you've got that, you then need to do something with it. And so you need some sort of editing software. Now, there are lots and lots of editing software out there. I use this, which is Premiere Pro. It's quite, you have to pay for it. So personally, I wouldn't, and it takes a little while to learn it. There is another one that is free, which is, hold on a minute, where are we? This one, DaVinci. But this is, if you look at that, that would just blow my mind. It's so complicated and it takes a real long time to learn. So if it's free, but my advice would be, if you're starting out, don't use it. The one that I've found, which again is free, it's called Lightworks. I've tried a few, and this is, again, is free, and it's actually pretty good. I quite like the quality, and as you can see, that's the kind of the interface that you'll have. So it's fairly simple. And so what I'll do, if you're happy, we'll just start a project and we'll input that little piece of footage into the into Lightworks, and I'll show you what I do. If you're happy with that, are we okay so far? Yes, no, that's a nod. Okay, right, Lightwork. Now I have to apologise. I've only been on Lightworks for 2 days, so my knowledge is 2 days worth of knowledge. However, if you go to Lightworks' official website, YouTube channel, they've got an official beginner's guide, and you can learn it in 15 minutes, and that's how I did it. As I said, that's it's very easy. They'll take you through the whole process. So anything that I've missed, you just go onto their site, and they will show you everything that you need to do, and just take you through the whole thing there. So that's all I did. And it just takes you through the whole system and each section. Okay, right. So we'll go. So up there on the top left, we're going to create a new project, and it's got there. And so if we call the project Toastmasters 10, or let's have another go. Toastmasters 21. And then we just press create, and then we've got the workspace, okay, which is in front of us. Now, it can look quite intimidating at first of all, but it's actually pretty, once you kind of get your way around it. It's not difficult. Now, the thing that we've got to do, we've got to input that little piece of footage of me speaking into the workspace. And so what we'll do, we'll look at my local files. And so these are my files. And I've put this file in my, where are we? It's desktop. And Toastmaster. Right, so I've got a file called Toastmasters, obviously. And this is, where are we? Here we go. So you double click on this, and then there you are. And it automatically inputs, and that's what you've got. Okay, now you've then got to import it. And on the left here, down to the bottom, if you see my little arrow, you just import this. So it's imported it. And then you've got two little things up here on the left, which is the image and the sequence. Okay. So this is the footage of me.
Yes.
So I'll apologise for the somewhat wooden speaking performance.
It probably has, yes.
So now along here, what you have is a little red, I don't know what you'd call it really, just a mark that just goes through the footage and takes you through everything that you want there. Now, if you just want to do the easiest version, you can literally just say, right, the point that we go in. So my wife asks me a question there, and where are we?
I think it probably has.
Right, so now what you need to do, you need to mark the point in and then the point out. So the point in is when you start your talking, you start talking, and the point out is when you finish talking. So here on the bottom, if you follow my little cursor, there's an add in mark. So you press that, so you add in. And if you see there on the bottom left, there's a little blue mark. It's the mark when it starts. And so you will then press play.
It probably has.
And so as you see there, the red mark is leaving the blue mark, and it's leaving a section. And you can see there on the bottom of where I'm talking, there's a blue kind of going there. Now that is the, if you like, the footage. So shortly it's going to stop.
I can't point directly to that. I think generally when you're talking to people, presenting to people, putting over any aspect of your business.
Apologies for this. We'll just let it go to the next question.
Skills that you've got and that you improve them when you're practicing public speaking, it does make you think a bit more about how you present and some of the techniques they teach you. So I think you can't help but do anything and improve you.
Right, so that's just that little bit, and that was where are we now? That's a minute. So if you press on the bottom here, there's the out mark. So this is, you press the out mark, and so then that little piece of footage has been clipped, for want of a better word, and then all you do is you drag it onto your timeline. That's it. So now we have that clip, and it's just that clip, which is on the timeline there, and it's gone across to the right.
It probably has, yes.
And so that is there. So the clip has now moved across to the right. So the right screen is the sequence that you're going to be using. I'll be happy so far. Yeah, I'm getting nods. Hopefully not nodding off.
And Eric,
yes.
Just wondering, when you have this section here, can you preset the limit of the length of each clip?
When you say preset, well, you can, because you decide when you clip in and when you clip out. You don't preset it as such, but you just look at the footage and you can just say, because usually when you start, if you're doing, say, a selfie or however you're doing it, there'll be a little bit of stuff at the beginning that you don't want, and there'll be some stuff at the end that you don't want, and so you'll clip it, the bit that you want, for the 45 seconds or however you want it. So that's the way to do it, or that's the way I would do it. There may be other ways. John may know better ways. I would never claim to be the guru, especially on Lightworks. But this is the simplest way that I've found of clipping the footage that you want to put on a basic timeline. It's a very, you can do much more with this Lightworks. But again, I've only been doing it 2 days, so I'm going to just give you the basics of all you need to do, and that's all you really need. So you clip it in and you clip it out. There. Does that kind of answer your question or not?
Yeah, thank you.
So basically then you've got, on your sequence here, you've got the clip that you want. So this is just me talking, answering the question. Now, the other thing that you can do, now you could, if you just wanted, you could actually just export this to somebody else, and then you can say, I've done a clip and here it is. So if you want to do nothing else, you can literally export, where's export here? Right, how do I export? No. Field note project. Right, how did I do export? You might have to bear with me for a minute. Anyway, I'll work out how to export in a second. But you could just export this. Now, if you want to do a title, now the way to do a title is, hold on a minute. Right, there's a section called VFX, and you move on to VFX, and then add new effects, and click it on there, and some titles will come up, and you can go. Hold on a minute. Right, so you would then put your red mark there, double click it, and then you've got text. Okay, so if you go down for titles, you'll see a box and it's got written in it sample text. So you can take that out and you can put Gatwick communicators speech by Eric Story, or you could sort of say, let's take that out. Why did you join? So simple questions you can just put there. Okay. So if you want to do this, it's very easy. So you can just say, why do you, so the questions that Diane's talking about, why did you join the club? Now, you can adjust the size. So if you look at the font size there, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can do what you want. And you can do position, so you can make it go up and down. You can, there, shadows, you can do all sorts of things. And the other thing you can do is an effect. If you want, you can fade in and you can fade out. So you could fade in and fade out. So if you look at where my cursor is then, so it's a very, I'll show you. So it will go, so it will fade in, and it's quite long, actually, it's far too long. Yeah, it's far too long, but we'll do, hold on, let's see if I can make it. Right. So we'll just make it 5 seconds. And so it will fade in. So there's a question, why did you join the club? And then it should fade out and it'll go straight into me speaking. And so you can then do the same if you want. And you can do an outro of, again, you can do exactly the same thing if you want to do, I don't know, anything.
Call to action, say.
Yeah, a call to, there you go, call to action. So you can sort of say, again, sample text. So you could say call to action would be, so Gatwick communicators, Crawley, and then the address, website, Facebook page, whatever you want to do, whatever, just put anything that you want there. Phone numbers, basically, that's what it's all about. And very, very easy again to get, but you want to make it slightly smaller. There you go. And again, you just want that there for a few seconds at the end. And so you then, so when it finishes, you then just do your call to action. Call to action should be a little bit longer, simply because you want to give people time to write it down. Now, that really is all you need. Now, if you want, you can do something called transitions. You can, if you want. Where's transitions? And a transition is basically just a way of smoothly moving from a title page to your footage. Again, I don't think you need to. I think there's no point in making work for yourself unless it's probably something that you want to do. If you look at this footage, it does what it says on the tin, and then you go straight into it. Where's the transition? Apply effect.
Right, Eric, can I stop you there, because we're very short of time on these dashes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it.
Thank you very much for that. Now, that was not easy, but actually it wasn't hard. I'd just like to ask a poll. Well, I tell you that most editing programs that do video editing are going to work in the same sort of way that Eric showed there. Whether you spend a lot of money and get one of the expensive ones, or you use one of the lower price ones like the one he showed you, the process is pretty much the same. You record some content, you put it on a timeline, and then you organize all your bits you need for a timeline. And it's interesting that we have only one person who said no to doing videos. Everybody is either yes or really want to. So well done, Eric. Well done indeed. You've not scared more than one person. That's not a bad solution. So I'm going to ask you a question. In typical video marketing things, and I'm going to take the screen away. Take the screen, if I may.
Yeah.
How many of you do this already? How many would like to do it? Oh, I see. Nobody wants to vote now. Now you're worried. Nobody wants to vote.
That question should have two answers, not just one.
Well, you choose the answer that fits what you want to do.
Because I think I want to choose really 2 and 3.
Yeah, none of the answers really fit me. I mean, I'm happy to do it, but I don't do a video at the moment. I've made videos before.
Gerald, shut up. You're talking rubbish.
You're
because
making
you're
a
on a
video
video now,
now.
my friend. You are doing a video. Your face is on a video. So don't tell me you're not doing videos, my friend. You're doing one now.
I said I've done videos before.
Yeah.
I said I've done videos before, but none of the answers really suit the answer that I'd actually put. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I haven't voted.
Okay, that's no problem. That's no problem.
That's not
It was just to get an idea. Look, I'm going to disappear. You'll be so happy I'm going to disappear. I'm going to disappear and show you my phone, which should be really embarrassing because I've got some very weird friends. Not just Toastmasters, I have some really weird friends. But here is my phone. And on my phone, I have something called YouTube. You may have heard of YouTube. YouTube is a reasonably popular platform. And if you go into YouTube, if I can get to YouTube properly and go to there is something at the bottom called Shorts. Now, that's not an item of clothing. It is a way to record things. If I get Shorts to run for me. So here are Shorts. Now, these Shorts videos are videos of under a minute long, which people have produced. And I can flick through them like TikTok. And you may want to have a look at some of these because the questions that are being given to you, you're going to have to answer in under a minute. But There's another reason for showing you shorts, because if I click on the plus icon, I can create a short. So I can now create a video on my phone instantly. You create it in little chunks of 10 to 15 seconds, and you can line up a few of them together. And then when you've finished, you can upload it to YouTube, to your YouTube channel, whether you got. And remember, Diane wants this done for district because Diane wants district, you know, she's got a district agenda, but everything we're doing works exactly the same for your club. So the videos you create to get you visibility through the district are the same things that you can create for your club too. So I have an ability here to add a video. I got bored, so I joined Toastmasters. Now I'm just excited. I've got the chance to add text. Exactly the same. I can add a sound, go and pick up some music from somewhere. I've got a timeline. So just like Eric, I can add more items to this timeline. So I could add some more content afterwards. And I have filters if I want to make myself look more attractive, although that's probably a losing battle, but for you guys, it might be something of interest to you. So there you are on your phone. You already have a very simple way to collect videos, which takes this to one level even easier than Eric did. And that's why I asked those questions, because you may find that the biggest fear is just like getting on the stage for the first time that you did a speech in Toastmasters. The biggest fear is doing your first video. So take this phone, go into YouTube, create a little YouTube short, and you have now broken the curse, and you can do more of these. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can then move up to the next level and do something like Eric's done, where you take the process to the next level and create even more interesting videos. But the biggest fear is that you all worry you're not going to be good enough and you do nothing. And what is worse for your club? No videos, or a few videos that get people's interest that could be better. Creating some videos. Because look, if people watch the video and then criticize it, what have they done? They've just interacted with you. So it doesn't matter if you haven't got £5,000 camera, great big studio recording equipment, or you've just got a phone. Either way, you're going to collect. And even these phones, they do good videos. Eric's using a very, very, with respect, very, very out of date iPhone, and it still collects good videos. This is I don't know, this must be 4 years old as well, but this takes reasonable videos. As long as you've got decent light, that's the old adage. You need decent light for these things. But this is easy.
And it needs to be light from the front, or from the front and the side, rather than from the back. So if it's from the back, you just get a silhouette, like we saw with Gerald, because he was speaking with the sun behind him. So we couldn't really see Gerald's face. So the light needs to be from the front, or from one side, but more to the front than from behind, so you don't get that kind of silhouette line. The idea is also we're looking for people who can help use a boilerplate and chip in the intro and the call to action at the end onto all of 45 video clips. If you're interested, please get in touch with me, because we're going to need it. If this takes off in the way that we hope, we're going to get lots and lots and lots of videos in. And the same content you can then use with your own clubs, but with different headers and call to actions.
On
as I said.
Sunday night, after my normal webinars, I hold marketing PR webinars. This weekend, we will be doing videos, simple videos on the phone. We'll go through the whole process of creating the video, putting some text and uploading it. I've put the URL in the chat for you. You're welcome to join that. You're welcome to get other people in your club to come to that meeting. We will actually go through the process. We've got some more time. Obviously, with Diane's Dash, we've only got a small amount of time. But I hope that Eric has inspired you to do this.
Yeah. Asim was asked a question about, and maybe you could ask a question, Asim, that you put in the chat, please.
Yeah, if you're going to be collating all these videos together, do you want them all in like landscape mode or shot in portrait mode? Because I noticed on the mobile that John demonstrated, it was portrait mode, whereas Eric's
mode. For most of the places where we can put in short videos like TikTok, YouTube, etc., portrait mode is the way we do it. For YouTube Shorts, they specifically have to be portrait mode. If you go to TikTok, it's pretty much always created as portrait mode videos. That's a very good question, and the answer is portrait mode.
Yeah. And if you haven't got a stand like Eric was showing to hold your iPhone on, then just prop your stand up against some books. Yeah, or if it's got inbuilt image stabilization, you've got a gimbal, which is a device that holds the phone steady as you walk. Make your video walking down the street, so that people can see that Toastmasters aren't kind of living in some fantasy world, that we do exist in the outside world doing all sorts of everyday things.
And they don't have to be sell Toastmasters. If you want to do some funny ones,
yeah,
you want to do some entertaining ones, the more variation, the better. So just let your imagination go away with you.
But if you
silly things, come up with whatever you think of, because they'll all work. None of them will work individually. It's what we're looking for is the force of numbers.
Yeah. And that's why we're looking for over 1,000 videos, because we can get 3, 4, 5 a day between now and the end of June next year. We'll have such a body of material out there that we will float to the top of most search engine rankings. Marijana, you had a question earlier, sorry, which I think we missed.
Hi, Diana. Hi, everyone. Yes, I apologize. I just wanted to mention, because I have quite experience working with videos and with marketing. Isn't 3 or 4 videos in a day too much for people? Just asking, just more curious.
No, not in a system where you're forgotten in 15 minutes.
Hmm?
Not on a platform where you are forgotten in 15 minutes.
But that's why I'm saying, because I personally, for my business, working lots of social media marketing, where statistics shows that usually 1 post per day or 2, it's maximum, but anything more than that, the algorithms will definitely show you as a scam. So your posts are not going to be visible. So I'm talking
not if you're promoting to places like TikTok and places like that. And anyhow, we're not talking about one platform or one account. We're talking about all the district. We're talking about all the clubs, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to create a library that the clubs will be able to take advantage of. So if you can't create enough content for every day for your club, you could create perhaps 3 a week of your own club and then borrow from the library to fill in the other 4 days.
I'm just saying, because I personally use TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything of that I'm using for my business the same. And what I noticed definitely that algorithms, if it's more than 2, then definitely is putting you as a scam.
But we can use multiple channels as well, and it may well be that some of them we kind of stitch together with different people answering different questions to make a slightly longer video for channels like Facebook. But first of all, we need a whole lot of 45-second videos in, and then start putting out 1 or 2 a day on different platforms, you know, because we're not just talking TikTok or just YouTube. We can put it on YouTube Short. We can put collections together to make playlists on YouTube. We can put them on Facebook. We can put them on LinkedIn.
So practically, just when we create video, we need to be also more thinking about the format that it's set up for all platforms. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Which is why we're looking at portrait mode.
Yeah, because we can edit it down, or if people submit landscape videos, then we can use them on different formats on YouTube. But if they submit portrait videos, then we can use them on TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Diana, so much. Thank you, everyone.
I'll be in touch, by the way.
No worries. Feel free. And I don't know if have you seen, guys, but I also done the video, which I need to agree with Eric, because when I created that short video of minute, which was for IGTV on Instagram for our club, for contests that we organized last week. We also had more guests and more visitors just thanks to the videos. So definitely videos are very powerful. So I need to agree with Eric.
Yeah, and this is why it's taken a little bit of time, because we've had, John's been very busy helping me because he's part of the club growth team with all sorts of other bits and pieces. And this is the first opportunity we've got it. And it would be great to have stuff out there by the beginning of November. So come January, it's already floating to the top of any search engines, because January is when a lot of people join Toastmasters.
Okay, perfect.
So we really want, we might sound strange talking about it now for January, but we need to build up ahead of steam and to get the systems in place. So that's why we're talking now about this project.
And of course, we can also downgrade the content, as I like to call it, and reuse it, because if you do a good video and you've got a good strap line, we can always take an image shot of that, put the strap line underneath as text, and we can send them out as images as well. So we can make use of the content in lots of different ways. I would love to see every single website for every single club having one of these changes every day on their website, so there's a constant different reason for why you'd want to join that club. And some of them would be generic because they've come from the pool, and some may be specifically written by that club for that club.
And the whole idea is that we create a complete tidal wave of stuff out there, by both from the district and from all of the clubs. So as I said, we're looking for volunteers to help add the boilerplate intro and the call to action at the end. And as I said, the reason why we're making them 45 seconds videos is so that we have time to add the boilerplate and still keep under the minute limit of YouTube Shorts. Bonnie, you have a question?
Yes, yeah, just wondering whether this district had any, can give some sort of support on how do you do that? Like if you have so much content, like you say, a schedule that you can do that with the various platforms, or you can, so we don't have to manually do it. Is there some easy way?
Yeah, on the District 91 website, there is, under marketing resources, there's a whole page at the moment full of static ads that have been written for clubs, and we'll be adding to, and the videos that clubs can then customize and download the files for will be added to that page. So there will be some blank ones that will make it easy for clubs, if they have the right software, to be able to tailor the call to action and the intro. But the thing is, the resources are there to be used, and we will of course share them. We're not going to hold on to them. So if you suddenly wonder, you're short of a video because no one's asked one of the, say question 13, how I now my job interview with Toastmasters. If no one in your club has answered that, but you see that there's other people who have, you might want to borrow the video and put, this is so-and-so from this club, and this is how they nailed it. And then call to action, then contact Riverside or whatever. So that it's that kind of linking. And I know at Riverside this year with Duncan, you'll be able to do all of this sort of stuff really easily because he's already started to make really intriguing, quite quirky videos. But the other thing is what we're trying to do is get across the human interaction and show the diversity of Toastmasters. Because one of the battles we have to overcome is the Guild of Toastmasters and the red-coated perception that is prevalent in the UK. A Toastmaster is someone who dresses in a red coat, a frock red coat, and says, "My lords, ladies and gentlemen," in a very deep voice. And we need to overcome that. So when people type in Toastmasters, we come and float to the top every time.
And if you have a new idea or you have a criticism of the system or a suggestion of the system, throw them in, because this is not in stone. What we know in stone is that we need to collect the videos because that's the hardest bit. And then how we top and tail them and where we post them is still not exactly determined, because we'll see where they all go and how they all turn up. Did you want to say something, Eric?
Only when you finished.
Carry on.
No, I think it's great. What I'm doing, I'm probably, this is just a personal thing, I'm probably going to do a slightly different path, rather than doing lots and lots. I'm going to be, say, recording speeches, recording meetings, recording people's, and then try to put them on the website, put them on Facebook, put them on Instagram, that kind of thing. So it's the same thing, but possibly not the same volume, because I don't think I've got the bandwidth to do this.
No,
personally.
which is why we're looking for a team, Eric, to help put the boilerplate intros and outros, call to actions on, because it's hopefully.
Yeah, I think mine is going to be the same sort of thing, but just spread out more, but with slightly longer. So when I do sit down, I can do, a 6-minute speech and then just put a boilerplate either side and put it on Facebook or put it on the website.
So I mean that's great. And each club, this doesn't stop each club making their own videos. This is the district to help promote so that the district can help promote each and every club. And build up a big library of materials for the clubs. I've put in the chat a list of the 16 questions I think that need to be asked. And I've also put in my email address. If you think the questions are wrong, ambiguous, or you think of new questions to add to that 16, then please do email me. If you could email me by Saturday, that would be fantastic, please, Saturday lunchtime, because this is going to get formally signed off by Helena this weekend, and we can then start to publicize it and launch it and get people interested and start the whole process next week. If you're interested in helping the three of us with the intros and outros or call to actions, adding them onto the videos that we collate, then please let John or I know, and we'll build up a team, because we're going to need the help if this is going to be as successful as we all hope it will. And the aim is it's going to help build new members, gain new members for every club in District 91.
I mean, I'll push this out to my club. We've got a meeting in a couple of weeks, so I'll push this out and see what a response, and then I can edit my own members' videos, not a problem. And so I can push this out and see what response we get. It'll be an interesting experiment, I think. Hopefully there'll be some, because we've got lots of personalities and funny people and fun, so it'll be interesting.
And be doing other things, as I said, if you've got a selfie stick that means you can keep the phone quite stable as you're walking, or a gimbal, then use it and shoot the video as you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
So as I said, we don't want every background to be one of these kind of electronic backgrounds like I've got behind me at the moment, because it gets tedious and dull. We want to show people in the real world.
Yeah, we did. I mentioned it to you before. One of the videos we did a blooper reel because people kept making mistakes, and so and that probably got more laughs and pick up than the serious stuff, because people were just, they kept making mistakes. It was just funny, and everybody was laughing, and you saw their personality. And I just did an electronic bleep at the end of just a bleep, not to do a blooper reel, and that was fun. It's just stuff like that that people, you know, to show that, as you say, that we don't all wear red frock coats and go, ladies, gentlemen, and all the rest of it. So yeah.
Short
Any
videos
more
will give you the
questions?
best bang for your buck.
Yeah. Any
Because
more
the amount
questions?
of time you take to create them, sorry,
Yeah.
Dine, the time
Right.
you take to create them,
That's very true.
very small. And the only problem you have is standing up in front of the camera and speaking, which is what we're all good at because we do table topics. So you've got no excuse, and you've got a big advantage over other people to be able to make these sort of videos, because we do it in table topics every week.
And if Annalise wants to make them in French for our
C'est vrai.
her club in London, then
Okay, we can do both because we are bilingual club actually, so we can speak both French and English. Yes.
yeah,
Voici la Toastmaster.
you could do a French set for people, you know, living in London.
D'accord, d'accord.
Yeah.
We can always do subtitles. Oh, and by the way, for those, so that there was a question about subtitles, here's a trick for you. If you recorded your presentation in Zoom and you recorded to the cloud, Zoom will put the subtitles on for you.
Even in French?
Yeah, I think if you tell it, if you tell it's going to be in French.
It doesn't work in French. I tried. Yeah.
Oh.
But YouTube will also add subtitles in if you tell it to add subtitles. But that's something we can do at this end. The subtitles don't always work that well, but yeah.
Again, if you have an advanced program, I don't know if Eric's has got it, but I know Premiere Pro, you can add your subtitles and you can edit them and make sure that and decide how they look. So there are ways of doing it.
Premiere Pro does it automatically.
Yeah.
Now it's an automatic program. So yeah, don't even have to type.
Very good.
Okay, so we're all inspired to go and spend the afternoon doing videos. Okay, maybe not this afternoon then, but I hope you're inspired.
So, you know, if you've got any thoughts, comments about how this can be improved, and we've taken some good ideas from the questions we've received from you guys today, then please email myself and I'll make sure John and Eric get them so we can have a chat about them. And if, as I said, if you're interested in helping out with the topping and tailing of all these videos, then please, again, let John and I know so we can build up a team, because we can't just let Eric do the whole lot. And unfortunately, I don't have the time to be able to do the whole lot, and neither does John. We can do some each, but we need to build a team on this. Thank you very much. That concludes today's Thursday Dash, or Diane's Dash as it's now become known. Thank you very much for coming, and see you next week.
Great.